Did you know that over 90% of human communication is non-verbal? That means a woman could be showing you clear signs that she's interested in you, and you wouldn't even realize it. Most guys miss these subtle signals, not because they are not paying attention, but because they don't know what to look for. By the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of the signals women send when they're attracted to you. Even better, you'll know exactly how to respond with confidence and make sure you stick around until the end, because I've got a bonus tip that most men never figure out, one that separates guys who effortlessly attract women from those who are constantly left wondering what went wrong. Welcome to Emma, your go-to channel, for real, relatable advice on navigating the complexities of love and relationships. One, hyper-awareness of your presence when a woman is attracted to you. Her awareness of your presence heightens sometimes without her even realizing it. It's not just about her looking at you, it's about how often and how subtly she does it. You walk into a coffee shop and she glances up, that's normal. But then a few minutes later she does it again. Maybe she adjusts her posture slightly, tucks her hair behind her ear, or straightens her back as if subconsciously preparing herself to be noticed. That's her brain registering your presence, because when we're drawn to someone, our awareness sharp happens. Psychologists call this selective attention, and it's the same reason you suddenly start seeing the car you just bought everywhere on the road. When something or someone is important to you, your mind locks onto it. A study published in the Psychological Science journal confirms that attraction increases our ability to notice and track a person's movements even in a crowded room. So if she seems to always be aware of where you are, chances are you're on her radar for more than just casual observation. 2, she sees her hair now before you assume. Every woman who fixes her hair is interested in you. Let's break this down properly. Women play with their hair for many reasons, but when it happens in the context of attraction, it's often subconscious grooming. Pay attention to when she does it. If she's twirling a strand between her fingers, brushing it back repeatedly, or adjusting it when she talks to you, these are classic preying behaviors, small instinctive actions designed to enhance appearance and draw attention. Think of it this way: when people are attracted to someone, they naturally want to look their best. And research in evolutionary psychology supports this. Study suggests that women instinctively adjust their appearance when they feel a surge of attraction. It's why a woman might suddenly become hyper-aware of a smudged lipstick or straighten her dress when talking to someone she finds attractive. So if she's playing with her hair every time you speak, especially if she's making eye contact while doing it, there's a strong chance she's subconsciously signaling interest. 3, she licks her lips. The lips are one of the most sensual and expressive parts of the body. They're tied to traction in ways you might not even realize. If a woman subtly licks or moistens her lips while looking at you, it's not just random, it's often an unconscious signal of interest. Think about it: you're mid-conversation, and she suddenly licks her lips just for a split second while maintaining eye contact. It's a micro-expression, a brief, involuntary movement that reveals what someone is feeling before they even realize it themselves. Why does this happen? Attraction has physiological effects on the body. When a woman finds someone attractive, her body prepares for connection. And one of the things that happen is increased saliva production. A study published in the Journal of Behavioral Psychology explains that our mouths naturally become drier when we're nervous or excited, causing us to lick our lips more often. But here's the key context matters. If she licks her lips while she's talking to you, looks at your lips while you speak, or even lightly bites her lower lip, she's not just keeping them moisturized, she's signaling that she's paying attention to you in a way that goes beyond casual conversation. For she mirrors your body language. Most people don't even realize when they do this, but mirroring is one of the strongest non-verbal ways we build connection with someone. It's an instinctive way of saying, I'm on the same wavelength as you. You lean in slightly while talking. She does the same. You cross your legs, and a few moments later she crosses hers. You take a sip of your drink, and suddenly she reaches for hers. 2, this is called the chameleon effect, a phenomenon where people unconsciously mimic the behavior of someone they're attracted to. Why does this happen? Because mirroring builds trust, and connection research in social psychology has shown that people are more likely to feel comfortable and engaged with those who reflect their movements, speech patterns, or energy level. Think about the last time you had a conversation with someone you really connected with. Chances are you started adopting similar gestures and even facial expressions without realizing it. The same thing happens when a woman is interested in you. So if you start noticing her subtly matching your movements, take it as a strong sign that she's tuned into you more than anyone else in the room. She shows her neck. The neck is one of the most delicate and vulnerable areas of the body. And when a woman exposes it around you, whether consciously or unconsciously, it can be a strong indicator of attraction. Have you ever noticed a woman tilting her head slightly while talking to you? Maybe she runs her fingers along her collarbone, plays with a necklace, or gently touches the side of her neck. These small, instinctive movements aren't random. They're subtle signals of openness and trust. From an evolutionary perspective, exposing the neck is a subconscious way of signaling femininity and vulnerability. It's the same reason people naturally tilt their heads when they're deeply engaged in a conversation. It creates an inviting, approachable presence. Psychologists suggest that these gestures stem from preying behaviors which are designed to draw attention in a subtle but effective way. If she's doing this while looking at you or during key moments in your conversation, it's likely a sign that she's comfortable and interested. Before we proceed, if you find value in this video, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us grow and makes you an integral part of our journey, and we deeply appreciate your contribution. Now let's return to our discussion 6. She positions herself closer to you. This is one of the most overlooked signs because it happens so naturally. When a woman is drawn to someone, she'll unconsciously find ways to shrink the physical space between you. You're at a social gathering, standing in a group. Every time the conversation shifts, you notice she's right there, close enough that she could easily brush against you. She might lean in slightly when you speak, angle her body toward you, or even find reasons to stand next to you instead of across from you. This is what's known as proximity theory, a concept in psychology that explains how physical closeness increases attraction. Studies show that the more accessible someone makes themselves to you, the stronger the likelihood of a connection forming. Here's the thing, people don't gravitate toward things they're not interested in. If she's choosing to position herself near you, especially when she has other options, it's not an accident, it's an instinct. 7, she makes prolonged eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most powerful unspoken ways people communicate interest. A fleeting glance might not mean much, but when a woman maintains eye contact with you longer than usual, it's often a deliberate attempt to establish a connection. Think about the last time you locked eyes with someone in a way that felt meaningful. It wasn't just a glance. It lasted a second or two longer than normal, maybe even just enough to make you wonder if it was intentional. If she doesn't immediately break the gaze, or if she looks away and then back at you, that's a classic sign of attraction. There's actual science behind this. Dr. Arthur Aaron, a psychologist famous for his research on attraction, conducted a study where strangers were asked to maintain eye contact for just 4 minutes. The results, many participants reported feeling intense connection. Some even described it as falling in love. That's because prolonged eye contact stimulates oxytocin production, the hormone linked to bonding and attraction. So if she's making eye contact and holding it for just a little longer than necessary, she's not just looking, she's inviting you into a deeper, unspoken moment of connection. 8, she shows her palms. Most people don't realize how much their hands reveal about their true feelings. But in body language, open palm gestures are one of the clearest indicators of openness, trust, and receptivity. Imagine this, you're talking to a woman, and she's gesturing naturally with her hands, her palms often facing up. Or maybe she rests her hands on the table with her palms visible rather than tucked away or hidden. These small, subtle movements show that she's comfortable around you and, more importantly, open to the interaction. On the flip side, closed fists, crossed arms, or hands tucked out of sight, those are classic defensive gestures. Body language experts suggest that when we trust someone, we instinctively show more of ourselves. Literally, open palms indicate honesty, warmth, and a willingness to engage. This is why great public speakers often use open hand gestures. It makes them appear more trustworthy. The same principle applies in personal interactions. If a woman keeps her hands visible and expressive while talking to you, especially with her palms open, she's not just engaged in the conversation, she's subconsciously signaling that she's comfortable, relaxed, and possibly attracted to you. 9. She playfully touches you. Touch is one of the strongest indicators of attraction. And when a woman initiates physical contact, even subtly, it's rarely accidental. Pay attention to the small touches. Maybe she taps your arm when she laughs at your joke. Maybe she playfully nudges you when teasing you about something. Or maybe, as she's talking, she lightly places her hand on your forearm for just a second. These are all ways of testing comfort and creating physical closeness. Think about it. People don't touch those. They feel indifferent about if she's making an effort to establish casual physical contact. She's subconsciously bridging the space between you. Touch also triggers a chemical response. When we experience physical touch, our bodies release oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. It's the same chemical that strengthens emotional connections between couples. That's why even a simple touch like brushing shoulders as you walk or a quick playful push can intensify feelings of attraction without a single word being spoken. But here is the key. Context matters. If she's finding reasons to initiate touch, especially in a playful, flirty way, there's a good chance she's testing the waters to see how you'll respond. Bonus point: how to respond to these signals. If you've made it this far, you're officially part of our real community. So here's your well-earned bonus tip. Spotting attraction cues is one thing, but knowing how to respond is where most men fumble. It's not enough to recognize the signs. You need to react in a way that builds attraction without overdoing it. Here's how. If she makes eye contact, hold it for just a second longer before smiling. A confident gaze followed by a subtle smile shows self-assurance without coming across as intense. If she mirrors your movement, slowly change your posture and see if she follows suit. This will confirm that she subconsciously tuned into you. If she playfully touches you, reciprocate subtly. This doesn't mean grabbing her, just something natural like a light touchy on her forearm when emphasizing a point. Small, confident gestures reinforce connection. If she moves closer to you, don't step back. A lot of guys panic and instinctively shift away, not realizing she's closing the gap on purpose. Instead, stay grounded, hold your space, and lean in slightly when responding to her. The key: confidence. Women respond to men who are aware but not desperate, confident but not arrogant. Attraction isn't about chasing, it's about recognizing signals and responding in a way that lets the connection grow naturally. If you've watched till this point, I want you to comment below. I see the signs. That way, I'll know you're part of the real community, the ones who actually pay attention and want to level up in their interactions. If you got value from this video, hit the like button. It's one of the easiest ways to support the channel, and it helps more people see this content. Plus, it lets us keep bringing you high-quality videos like this every single day. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and turn on notifications, because we break down attraction, confidence, and dating dynamics in a way that's simple, practical, and actually works. Also, share this video with a friend who might be missing out on these signals. Help them out. You never know who needs to hear this. We've also recommended the perfect video for you on your screen, right? When it comes to relationships, age is just a number, but attraction, admiration, and emotional chemistry, that's where the real magic happens. Younger women who are drawn to older men often express their feelings in ways that go far beyond words. It's not always about grand declarations or obvious signs. It's the subtle glances, the respectful tone, the deeper conversations, and the way they carry themselves around him. These women don't just see an older man, they see stability, strength, and soulful intelligence in this video. We'll dive deep into the subtle yet powerful ways younger women treat older men when they're genuinely attracted to them, from the spark in their eyes when they talk to him to the gentle way they touch his arm during a conversation. These are the real signs of connection. These moments may seem small, but they are loaded with meaning. Get ready to uncover the charming psychological cues that often go unnoticed, the small but mighty behaviors that reveal when a younger woman is falling, not just for a man, but for the life he represents. This isn't about fantasy, it's about emotional truth, and it's time to understand what's really happening beneath the surface. One compliments on maturity and experience. One of the clearest signs that a younger woman is genuinely attracted to an older man is the way she compliments his maturity, wisdom, and life experience. But it's not just flattery, it's reverence. When she praises the way he's handled life's challenges or how he speaks with clarity and confidence, she's revealing her admiration for his emotional intelligence. There's something irresistibly appealing about a man who's lived, who's been through pain, growth, success, and loss, and still stands tall, grounded, and gracious. She sees him not as just older, but as evolved, someone who's been shaped by time, not worn down by it. You'll notice how she listens differently. She leans in, not just physically, but emotionally. When he speaks, her eyes light up. Not because he's telling a joke, but because he's telling the truth. She values his insights. She absorbs his stories with genuine curiosity. She respects the strength it took to get where he is. And she sees that strength as a kind of quiet, masculine beauty. Her compliments go beyond surface-level praise like, "You're so smart." Instead, she says things like, "I love the way you think," or "That's such a unique perspective." She admires his calm, collected approach to conflict. She might say, "You're so composed. How do you stay so grounded?" That's attraction wrapped in admiration. And it's not just the words, it's her body language, the soft smile, the way she tilts her head while listening, the prolonged eye contact. These are the moments when attraction transcends looks and dives deep into emotional respect. When she talks to her friends about him, she might not even focus on his appearance. Instead, she'll say, "He just gets it," or "He makes me feel so calm and understood." That's because his presence, shaped by years of living, creates an emotional safety net, a rare kind of attraction that's rooted in depth and maturity to engaging in deep, meaningful conversations, unlike the surface-level chatter that fills most daily interactions. When a younger woman is drawn to an older man, she doesn't just want to talk, she wants to connect deeply, intellectually, emotionally. She's not interested in discussing the weather or the latest celebrity drama. Instead, she finds herself craving conversations that stretch her mind and touch her soul. She seeks out those rare, lingering moments where they dive into rich topics: philosophy, human nature, the meaning of success, the wounds that shaped them, the lessons that stuck. She becomes fascinated by the way he explains things, not just what he knows, but how he knows it. His voice, calm and reflective, pulls her in, not with volume, but with depth. And here's what makes it even more powerful. He treats her as an equal. He doesn't dismiss her ideas or talk over her. He invites her into his world, respects her opinion, and genuinely listens when she speaks. This creates something rare, a relationship built not just on chemistry, but mutual growth, a meeting of minds. Her attraction is not just romantic, it's intellectual. She begins to see him as a teacher, a storyteller, a man with layers of insight. She's eager to explore, and he sees her not as a child, but as a bright, curious soul, someone who challenges and energizes him. It's in these conversations where real intimacy is born, not in touch, not in gifts, but in understanding the way she leans forward when he reflects on his past, the way she laughs at a story from his youth, the way they fall silent for a moment after a profound exchange, sharing that unspoken, lingering energy. Those are the quiet flames that signal a deep emotional connection. 3 body language signs of attraction. When words aren't spoken, the body still speaks. And when a younger woman is attracted to an older man, her body language begins to shift in subtle yet powerful ways. These changes might seem small to an untrained eye, but to someone paying attention, they speak volumes. She may not even realize she's doing it. At first, a soft brush of her hand against his when handing over a cup, a gentle pat on his back when he makes her laugh. These light touches aren't accidental. They're her way of testing closeness, expressing warmth and saying, "I feel safe with you." Her posture around him often becomes more open, relaxed shoulders, uncrossed arms, slightly leaning in. When seated, she may choose the chair closer to him, even if others are available in conversations. She might tilt her head slightly, an age-old subconscious signal of curiosity and receptiveness. And when he speaks, her eyes don't wander. They're locked in, full of light and attention. And then there's proximity. If she constantly finds ways to be near him, walking beside him, sitting beside him at group gatherings, brushing past him in subtle ways, it's not coincidence. She's drawn to his energy, and closeness becomes her silent way of staying connected. When you combine these elements, eye contact, touch, closeness, they create a new language, a language of warmth, of interest, of chemistry, and that language often says more than her words ever could. For playful teasing and light flirting, one of the most delightful and revealing signs of a younger woman's attraction to an older man is the way she flirts, but her style isn't loud or over the top. It's subtle, charming, laced with wit and warmth. She doesn't need to be overly forward. Instead, she playfully dances in the space between admiration and affection. She might tease him about his knowledge, joking with a sparkle in her eyes. "You've lived through more decades than Google's been around. How do you know everything?" But beneath that humor lies genuine admiration. Her teasing isn't about mocking, it's about connecting. She's saying, "I see your wisdom, I enjoy it, and I'm not afraid to challenge it in a way that's fun and flirtatious." She may laugh and call him a walking encyclopedia, but what she's really doing is highlighting the contrast between their ages, then flipping it into a strength. She's not intimidated by his experience, she's drawn to it, and her teasing is her way of saying, "You fascinate me, and I want to be around you more." Her body language joins the fun, a soft nudge on the arm, a playful grin after a clever comment, or even a subtle wink when she catches him looking at her. All of it is intentional. All of it is her way of creating a safe, engaging space where attraction can bloom without pressure. This kind of flirtation, light-hearted, respectful, and sprinkled with admiration, creates a powerful emotional chemistry. It tells the older man, "You intrigue me, you entertain me, and I want to be close to you, not just mentally, but emotionally." Find 5 expressing interest in his hobbies and interests. Another deeply telling sign, she starts asking questions about the things he loves, whether it's music, books, sports, cooking, woodworking, photography, hiking, or something totally obscure. She shows up with a curious heart and open ears. She might ask him about that old guitar leaning in the corner of his room. Not just what songs he plays, but how long he's been playing, who inspired him, why he stopped, and what made him start again. She's not making small talk, she's digging deeper into the things that make him who he is. And when she joins in, whether that means watching a movie, he recommends walking beside him on a trail, or even just listening to him talk about a book he loves, it's her subtle way of saying, "I want to understand you beyond the surface, I want to be part of your world." What makes this behavior powerful is how intentional it is. She's not pretending, she's genuinely interested, and that curiosity is driven by emotional attraction. By diving into his hobbies, she's discovering more than just his pastimes. She's learning about what brings him joy, what calms him, what challenges him. She might even ask him to teach her how to fish, how to appreciate jazz, how to brew the perfect cup of coffee. These invitations aren't random, they're intimate, they're her way of stepping into his rhythm, and every shared hobby becomes a new thread in the bond they're weaving together, looking for his opinion or advice. One of the most heartfelt, psychologically rich signs of a younger woman's attraction to an older man is when she seeks his opinion or advice, not out of neediness, but out of deep respect. When she comes to him with questions, decisions, or doubts, she's not just looking for a solution, she's looking for him. It could be something simple. "Do you think I should take this job?" Or, "What would you do if you were in my place?" But beneath the surface, what she's truly saying is, "Your wisdom matters to me, I trust you, I value the way you think." And that trust is the gateway to intimacy. When she asks for his guidance, it's often in a tone softer than usual, thoughtful, almost reverent. There's a spark in her eyes as she listens, not just to his words, but to the calm confidence behind them. In these moments, her admiration becomes more visible. She's opening a door to deeper connection, showing vulnerability and inviting him into the inner chambers of her thoughts. She might nod slowly as he speaks, her eyes locked on his processing. Every word she might smile afterward, Not just because she liked his advice, but because she felt seen, heard, protected. And when she follows that advice or circles back to it later, it's a clear sign that she values not only what he says, but who he is. This exchange also gives him a chance to share from his life, a moment to reflect, to mentor, to connect on a soul level. And for her, it creates emotional gravity. The more she turns to him, the more their bond solidifies. What starts as a question becomes an expression of care. A silent thank you, wrapped in curiosity. 7, making efforts to impress. When a younger woman is truly drawn to an older man, you'll notice something else. She starts to glow around Kim, not because she's trying too hard, but because she wants to show up as her best self. She wants to impress him, not with grand gestures, but with intention, grace, and subtlety. Before meeting him, she may spend extra time choosing an outfit, not because she feels she has to, but because she wants to. Maybe it's a classic dress that reflects her personality. Maybe it's a new hairstyle or just a touch of perfume that feels elegant and soft. Each choice she makes carries silent meaning. I want you to notice me. I want you to remember me, and he will, because her effort isn't loud, it's thoughtful. You may see her adjusting her posture when she walks into the room, standing a little taller, moving with quiet confidence. She's not seeking attention from everyone, just from him. She smiles more when she talks to him. She listens with genuine warmth, and when he compliments her, even subtly, you'll see her face light up, not with vanity, but with gratitude. She might reference things he's mentioned in the past, showing she's been listening. She might surprise him with something small. A book he once said he loved, a restaurant. She remembered him mentioning these actions, though tiny on the surface, carry the emotional weight of someone who's paying attention, someone who's invested. This desire to impress isn't about superficiality, it's about presence. She's saying, you matter to me, I want to show you my best because you bring out the best in me. 8. Subtle jealousy or protectiveness. When a younger woman is emotionally invested in an older man, you may notice something soft but undeniable moments of subtle jealousy or quiet protectiveness. These aren't dramatic outbursts or possessive behavior. Instead, they reveal themselves in flickers, fleeting expressions, slight shifts in tone, and protective instincts that come from care, not control. Let's say another woman enters the room and starts talking to him. The younger woman won't interrupt, but she might become. Still, her eyes might shift slightly toward the interaction, her conversation pausing for a second as she assesses the dynamic. She might gently adjust her body posture to stay near him or inject a casual comment into the conversation, just enough to remind him, I'm here, I'm part of this moment. Her subtle actions speak louder than words. She's claiming emotional space, not with confrontation, but with quiet confidence in group settings. She may lean closer or laugh a little more freely when he says something funny, reaffirming her presence and connection. And if he mentions another woman in conversation, you might see her expression shift ever so slightly, maybe a pause before she responds or a question to clarify, as if needing to understand just how important that person is to him. She may also protect their bond in gentle ways. If someone criticizes him or makes light of something personal, she's quick to step in, not with aggression, but with soft defense. She'll bring the focus back to his strengths, share a story that paints him in a better light, or shift the tone to protect his emotional space. And when she shares inside jokes or brings up shared experiences in the presence of others, it's a subtle but powerful way of reinforcing the closeness they have. It says, this is ours, this connection is special, this protectiveness isn't rooted in fear, it's rooted in care. She feels something sacred is blooming between them, and her gentle guarding of that connection is her way of saying, I don't want to lose what we have. It's quiet, but it's real. 9. Consistent, comfortable communication and initiating contact. Perhaps one of the most overlooked yet telling signs of a younger woman's attraction is her effort to consistently stay in touch. When she's drawn to an older man, she doesn't wait for him to chase her. Instead, she reaches out frequently, warmly, and with intention. She may send him a text during the day, not just to ask something, but to share something, a joke, a memory, a photo, a thought that reminded her of him. These little digital breadcrumbs are more than conversation starters, they're connection builders. Her tone is casual, never demanding, but there's always care behind her words. She might say, "Just thought of you when I saw this." Or, "This reminded me of our conversation." These small messages carry a big message: "You're on my mind, I enjoy sharing my world with you." Sometimes she'll call, not to have long, serious discussions, but just to hear his voice, to laugh, to feel closer. And when she does, her tone is often soft, relaxed. She makes the call feel easy, like a natural extension of their bond. More importantly, she initiates. She doesn't play games or wait for 3 days to respond. She creates opportunities to meet in person. Maybe she suggests coffee, a shared activity, or just a walk. Not because she's bored, but because time with him feels meaningful. Her communication is consistent, but never clingy. She respects his time while still letting him know, "I value you, I want to be part of your day." Over time, these small but frequent gestures form a rhythm, a heartbeat of emotional connection that beats even when they're apart. Every call, every message, every invitation is a quiet confession. I want you in my life, not just in moments, but in continuity. When a younger woman is truly attracted to an older man, she doesn't always say it outright, but her actions reveal everything. From the way she listens to the way she looks at him, from her thoughtful compliments to the warmth of her consistent communication. She builds a bond rooted in a aspect, admiration, and emotional depth she doesn't chase. Thrills, she seeks substance. She doesn't just fall for his experience, she's drawn to the man. It's made him. And through every shared moment, every meaningful conversation, every gentle touch and spark of laughter, she says without words, "I see you, I value you, and I want to grow with you."